Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EF podcast. My name is Akua. I am here with some fellow teachers from GZ, Guangzhou. We are teachers at Kids and Teen School, and I would let them introduce themselves right now.
Hello, everyone. My name is Crystal. I have been in China for about 8 months now. Thank you for having me, Akua.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is Tim. I'm from New Zealand. I've been here for over 2 years now.
Hello, my name is Falcon, and I've been teaching in Guangzhou for 1.5 years with EF.
That is awesome. Now, this podcast is to talk about culture adjustment and cultural shock. All of us are international teachers, and some of us have had experience living outside our native countries, and some of us have not. When it comes to China, there are a lot of things people experience and wish they knew or knew beforehand before they got here. So this is to give the newcomers some idea of what to expect and what we've experienced while being here. So I'm going to ask you guys a couple of questions. Feel free to answer as openly as possible, just so we can help the future EFers who come here, okay? So the first most important thing is, did you do any research about China, mainland China, Asia, before you came to China? Let's start with you, Falcon.
Yeah, I did plenty of research. One of the first things that I looked at was videos of like what my life would be like. So I saw some videos that were like what your apartment is going to be like, and they showed like all these buildings with like the courtyard in the middle, which I think is probably like a little bit familiar to us. But yeah, I was surprised about that. I just wanted to know what my living situation
would be like. Yeah.
Also looked up vacation destinations. When they sent me the address of the school, I looked up, I tried to see on Google Maps or like any sort of mapping website what the surroundings of the school would be like. And then I just watched a lot of videos that were like my life in Guangzhou, or like a day in Guangzhou, or like stopping over in Guangzhou, just to see what it would be like.
Did you do the same too?
Yeah, so I've actually been in China before, so I sort of had a general idea of what life in China would be like. So in terms of anything surprising, I was actually going into this job with a little bit of experience and a fair idea about what I'm getting into. So, yeah.
Yes, I also did quite a bit of research, more or less the same as Falcon and Tim's research. And I also was very interested in the job itself, working hours, some like the reviews from like other teachers that have worked at EF, just to be sure that it was like a legitimate job. So yeah, I did read up a lot of that. So
I find that so interesting because I did absolutely no research. I just showed up. But I also think that is because I've traveled to a good amount of places. So I figured there's no way China could be that different from all of the other places and have that much of a cultural shock. And I definitely want to say that was a lie. China is completely different from all of the places that I've been to. So with the research and the experience that you come with, Tim, do you think that the research helped you, or did anything to prepare you more for living in China?
I think going in there with a little bit of research definitely helps. But I think once you get into it, it's about experience, right? So like anywhere you go, like what you hear and what you read online is always going to be a little bit different than what you actually experience. So I mean, yes, it is very different from home, but at the same time, I think it's very important to go into the experience knowing that it's going to be different, and you might be shocked about some of the things that might happen. But yeah, most importantly, keeping an open mind that things will definitely be different.
What about you?
I think there's some things that even experience can't really prepare you for. Even research can't really prepare you for. Like, they were like, oh, the food is going to be like you've never, not like you've never imagined, but like totally not like what you're used to. But like just having to turn on a VPN like every single time you want to open like any of the apps that you're used to just flipping open like on the bus. That's also like the reverse culture shock So like when I go home now, I always like, or like leave the country, always like reach for the VPN before I open Instagram, but then I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need that anymore. Also, just more than anywhere I've ever been, like not like very, very few people speaking English, like not even like left, right, go straight and numbers. Like it's you're going to encounter people who don't speak a word of English. So like if you speak a little bit of Chinese, it's going to make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I would have, I think I should have done like a bit more research with regards to like how many, like the number of people who can actually speak English in this country. And yeah, I was a bit shocked that like almost every person that you come across can hardly like speak any English, which was, like a bit weird to me. But I mean, like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, any other country, I guess, like, yeah.
Do you think EF or the recruiter you spoke to helped you in preparing you for your move to China?
So I'll start with this one. So my recruiter, it's because I wanted to be in Guangzhou. So my recruiter was very helpful in that case. And yeah, he got me a place in Guangzhou and not in any other city. In terms of about the job and what was expected, I think it was very clear of what he said and what was written on paper as well. So I fully went into this job knowing what to expect of the company and what was expected of me. All right. So I mean, up until now, I haven't been disappointed because I know what I've been expected to do, right? And yeah, pretty much it.
I think that EF, my recruiter was great. I told her I wanted a job in Guangzhou. She put me in Guangzhou. I was like constantly asking her questions about the visa requirements, and she answered all my questions like immediately. But I think like more than my recruiter, just the onboarding team in Guangzhou really helped me. Because like, yeah, I would have been totally lost if it hadn't been for like the people picking me up at the airport and then like literally taking me from the hotel like across the street the following day. That was really useful. Because yeah, I mean, it was like intimidating.
Yeah, that's true. They really do provide you with like any information that you need, like whether it's about the job, like the place that you'll be living in, like your life basically after you move to China. So I think they really did provide me with all of that information. I also had a great recruiter who was just like there all the time. I remember like sometimes they'd even like call me just to like be sure like if I didn't send something like I could call me and say please send this to me like ASAP or so it was really great. So
that is awesome. I think that EF does a great job of preparing people to their new experience and their new reality. But I also think that being in EF and surrounding yourself with just EF-based things isn't truly what China is. So what was the biggest culture shock that you experienced while working here in the EF environment versus stepping off EF playgrounds and actually being in Guangzhou? What was the most different experiences you had? Do you understand the question? No. So when you are in EF and you're hanging out with EF staff and EF school, you experience a more international feel versus when you step off EF playgrounds and you go to, like for example, we're in Panyu now. You go to Panyu, it's not EF, right? You're now in China. You're not surrounded by people who speak English. Was there a big difference in the way you experience the culture versus being with EF people and not being with EF people?
I think in terms of maybe at school, because we're all international, so we sort of have this personal space between each other, okay, which is pretty big. But in China, there's a lot of people, especially when you're traveling in the subway, whether it's in the subway or maybe it could be a bar or a club. People get in your face, let's just say, and they don't have that personal space. I think they still do have that personal space, but it's a little bit different, right? It's a lot closer than what we are normally used to. I think initially when I came, that was quite shocking for me, but then you just have to realize that in China there are a lot of people in China, And yeah, so I mean, in terms of the subway, the transport, they're restricted by that, right? So their personal spaces is a lot smaller than what we're used to. I think that's the greatest shock for me initially.
I agree. I think that for me, when I first arrived in China and I surrounded myself with mostly EF staff, it felt so much easier to adjust because it wasn't that different. We all went to Western restaurants. We all lived in Western apartments. We all lived together. But the moment I started branching out to making local friends and friends who did not work with EF, it became a new experience, completely different from what I had originally been experiencing. Now we were eating hot pot and we're riding subway stations at rush hour and people are touching my hair or pointing at me. And disclaimer, I'm a Black woman from Ghana. So I was not prepared for that versus taking DDs, which are like Ubers everywhere. And then having that experience all within the same 2 month span, it was different. It was different. And I wondered if everyone had that same kind of journey being here.
I mean, there were certain things that like I was expecting and certain things that I wasn't expecting. Like expecting, really crowded places, like people eating food that I wasn't used to. But like just the general unavailability of like stuff that we find really comforting. Like, you know, like in most shops, wherever you guys come from, you could probably walk in and buy a sandwich. But like here, a sandwich is like hard to come by. It's like there's like Subway, and then there's like some restaurants downtown and McDonald's, and then other than that, like that's pretty much it. And Starbucks. So yeah, I thought that like sandwich was like worldwide comfort food, but like for them, it's like sandwich is like a weird like not that appetizing Western food, and their comfort food is like a porridge with like a chicken foot in it. And like they really like it. And I mean, I get it. They've been eating it since they were kids. But yeah, it took a little getting used to. And same for coffee. Like coffee shops are kind of blowing up now, but like when I first got here, it was also really hard to find coffee.
What was the hardest thing to adjust to versus the easiest thing to adjust to?
The hardest thing to adjust to, maybe the toilets.
Oh my gosh, the toilets.
The toilets are hard to adjust to.
The toilets.
It's like if you're not in a like Western part of town, or like more like modern part of town, like downtown, or like expensive shopping malls, you're gonna be faced with a squatty potty. And like while they do the trick, I mean it's still like definitely not my first choice of call of nature response.
I remember the first time I saw a Chinese toilet. So I walked in and I was like, whoa. And I was going back in again. I was like, okay, let's do this, So I think that was like one of the hardest things that I had to like, adjust to. And the food as well. Their food is like quite not too different, but like there's certain things that like smell or look, like obviously like different to what I'm used to.
Stinky tofu.
Like tofu and all those other things. But I like that we also have like an option to go for like Western food as well, which is good.
So I think like since I've been here, like as Falcon said, the shops are opening up now. Like things are becoming more accessible, especially Western food. So before you could only really eat McDonald's or KFC. Now there's Starbucks. Now there are other restaurants that are popping up. But definitely, like if you're a fan of Chinese food, then I think China is the place to be for sure.
I would agree, but I disagree because I love Chinese food, and Chinese food in Western countries is not Chinese food. It's completely different. Chinese food in Spain, in Ghana, in the US, I have yet even a place that I've gone that says they have General Tso's chicken. It's not General Tso's chicken. No, it tastes like China's version of Western Chinese food.
Yes.
So I think that it's great that there's so much variety, but nothing here I've had is what I expected. That doesn't mean it's bad, so a lot of it has been really good. But it's just not what I expected. So what was the easiest thing then?
the convenience.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's super convenient. Like ordering something online and having it delivered like later that day, or like paying for everything with your phone, like super cheap cabs, everything being cheap. But yeah, I'm addicted to the convenience.
That is definitely what's gonna keep me stuck here.
Yeah.
I love how safe it is.
Yeah.
Like I just order stuff like for my apartment, and I just like get my delivery like right outside my door, and nobody like takes my stuff. I don't have to worry about that. That for me is like so good. I love that. Where I come from, there's no way you can like do that. Your order will be like taken like within, I don't know, like a few minutes, seconds. Trust me.
Yeah, I just think the cost of living here is a lot better than I think in a lot of Western places in the world. So you can get something for relatively cheap, whereas back at home would cost twice as much. For example, I don't know, McDonald's. Okay, it's a lot cheaper here. Secondly, transport. You can get around everywhere. Very convenient. You've got the buses, you've got the metro, right, and you've got the fast trains to other cities as well, right? That run frequently. So if you want to go traveling, that's also pretty convenient. And I think thirdly, if you want to do something, like you just can do it, whether it's just going out to the club or maybe going out, if you're a fan of the driving range, going out to the driving range, playing some sports, playing soccer with the locals, they're all like that, and people are sort of welcoming in that way, right? You're welcome to join their club, as to say. So the convenience it's just very convenient here.
Yeah, that's definitely the easiest thing to get comfortable with here is the convenience. When I was sick, I never had to leave my house. I ordered everything to my door, medicine included, and I was better in no time. And in addition, if I wanted to do a certain sport, if I looked hard enough, I would find a group of people who were doing it. If I wanted to travel to a certain country, if I looked hard enough, I would find a fast train or a plane that can get me there in an efficient amount of time. Living here is very comfortable. The money works. The cost of living is low. It was very easy. It is very easy to get very comfortable living here. It is. So what do you wish someone would have told you before you got here? For me in particular, I wish someone would have told me, I even if they did tell me this, I don't think it would have made it as apparent as it is, how different I would be to the locals. If you don't look anything like they imagine you to look, the amount of curiosity they show towards you is insane. So even if just being an inch taller than what the average Chinese man is or woman is, it's like, whoa, why are you so tall? A shade darker, it's like, whoa, why are you so dark? A shade inch shorter. And just any slight difference, it seems, throws them off. Most locals that I've met. That's what I wish someone would have prepared me for. But like I said, even if someone did say that to me, I still don't think it would have prepared me. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely relate to that. Because I remember just like being the first time I was like in and around like other like people, like a crowded place. It's like, like people staring, like, wanting to touch you or just like touch your hair and stuff like that. I didn't. I mean, like I did expect it, but like to to a certain level. But I was not aware of that. So.
How did you work on adjusting in that setting? Like, what did you do to help yourself be better prepared when you did encounter situations like that?
It was weird, but I didn't really do anything to like prepare myself. Now I'm just like used to it, I just don't let it like bother me or get me like angry or worked up or anything. It's just, I think of it this way, like because people here just like look so like similar, like everybody's just like I'm petite, like I like light skin and whatnot. So I just think of it as because I'm so different to like what they're used to, so they probably look at me because they like they're not used to like seeing a lot of black people. So I don't look at it in like a negative sort of way.
Mm.
Yeah, it is what it is.
What about you?
I guess maybe that there are like amenities and like that there are like creature comforts here, because I spent a lot of time preparing for like basically not like a village, but like just way less developed than it ended up being. So like the work pants that I bought were like like water resistant and like and like had like utility pockets. So I was like I have to like trudge through the marsh to get to school, and then I got here and it was like completely built up, like totally fine. And yeah, like I bought like a quick drying towel, but then like obviously like everywhere has air conditioning. I feel like it would have taken a lot of the stress off of me of preparing for China if I'd been like, it's basically just like where you're coming from. Like all the comforts that you're used to, you'll have. So just pack like you normally would.
Well, that is great. I think that we've all had very different experiences, but yet it's not as scary as being on the outside makes it feel like. Yeah, and I hope that you guys get to share and have been able to share what you feel about culturally adjusting here in China. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about being an international person in mainland China, Guangzhou?
I think sort of the trick or the quick tip, right? It's just to come here with an open mind, and obviously things aren't gonna always go your way, so you're gonna have to prepare for that mentally. And then secondly, I think if you open yourself to learning the language, it opens up so many avenues for yourself in terms of what you can do outside your group of circle of friends. I mean, obviously the friends you make around EF are going to be a great bunch of people, all right? But like you just don't limit yourself there. Go out there and meet new people. There are a lot of nice people outside of EF that are local as well, that would want to make friends with you and speak to you. And I think learning the language also, you'll be able to order food, go traveling to smaller cities and towns. Outside of Guangzhou, I mean, you can take the high-speed train to another place. I can't remember. I don't know. It's outside of Guangzhou, right? Just go out somewhere, go out exploring. Go to some small restaurant, and you can talk and converse with someone. I mean, like, and they'll just be so happy and grateful. I mean, they might even let you have lunch for free, right? Because you expected them in Chinese. So I think making the effort, I mean, culturally, which means learning the language, learning to speak the language, just sort of meeting them halfway, makes a big difference. Yeah.
Any tips you'd like to give, Falcon, Kristen?
Yeah, I think Patrick pretty much covered everything. Just come here with an open mind. That's pretty much it.
I think that's awesome. Yeah. Also, come here with an open mind, ready to just intake all of the new lessons, all of the experiences. Know that everything you want to do, 99% of what you want to do can be done here. It might be harder than not in different places, but it can be done if you try hard enough. And if there's any specific thing that you need to feel comfortable and at home, bring it with you until you can find a replacement or adjustment for it. For example, if you have specific skincare stuff or hair stuff or clothes, big feet, so yeah, you're just naturally a bigger person, bring stuff for you so that you can give yourself time to adjust. It's all about having an open mind and just being prepared for all of the new lessons you will learn.
I guess one of the frustrating things, right, like is maybe ordering online from Amazon. I mean, like, because it's not accessible here. So if you're a taller guy with bigger feet, you might struggle to find shoes or pants. But if you're a normal person, then a normal sized person, like Taobao has most of what you want and need. If you have problems accessing that, maybe you can ask a local teacher to help you. but normally they're pretty reliable with what they have online.
Mm.
But yeah, like you just can't access Amazon and purchase goods from overseas without encountering some sort of duty or them holding up your package at the border.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware of that.
Mm. Yeah, there are Chinese versions of everything you need here. You just have to find that. What else was I going to say? Forgot. Anything else? No? No, thank you guys so much for having this conversation with me, and I hope that it helps future EFers or future expats who come to Guangzhou, because we can only speak for Guangzhou, and our experiences, and it helps them prepare and feel more comfortable and make China feel less scary. Once again, my name is Akua. This is Crystal, Tim, and Falcon. We are kids and teachers, and hopefully we can talk to you guys more about different things. That's cultural adjustment in Guangzhou. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.